Hello everyone, this is Kyle from Mill Street Gardens. Today I'm changing the skin on our hoop houses. I'll give you the reasons why I do it and some tips along the way. Alright, so walking up to our hoop houses, you'll see one of them has clear plastic on it and one of them has white plastic on it. And the reason why one of them has white plastic on it is because I use it for overwintering. The white plastic keeps the hoop house from warming up when the sun hits it, so it protects these overwintering plants from wind, and the hoop house doesn't warm up, so they don't start breaking dormancy. So if they break dormancy in the middle of winter, then the plant will die. So these have been alive all winter, and as you can see, the plants are doing really well. We got some evergreens in here that are doing good. Everything's doing good. Things are starting to pop back to life. So it's that time of year where we gotta put on the different fabric or the plastic on the hoop house. If you look at the sides of the hoop house, you'll see that the plastic is secured with ropes. So it's a really nice design of this hoop house. This is a Farmer's Friend hoop house that we bought a couple years ago. We got a really good deal on it because it was buy two and get free shipping, which was nice. So we got two of them. And so it's secured by the ropes. There's two sets of ropes, and that does a really good job of holding the plastic. But we also have the wiggle wire, which is this wire right here, which is held into like a track, and that holds the plastic onto the front and the back frame. So that does a really good job as well. It's just kind of tedious. So basically this is a really easy job. It just takes a couple hours and it's kind of annoying to do. Some other things that need to be addressed today is my doors. I'll probably want to get these fixed, or at least be able to close to get them ready for the spring. I had the same issue with this door yesterday, but I actually fixed it yesterday, so he can close. Another issue that we have is actually on this clear hoop. This happened on the white hoop, but not as bad. But this clear hoop, we had some really windy days, and it looks like it blew in the frame. So it looks pretty bad, but it's an easy fix, and we'll get that fixed today too. Oh, just found something else on the clear hoop house. This rope over some of these windstorms, they're still attached, but one of them came loose. So there's two ropes. One of them's like a backup rope, so the backup rope's still on, but one of these ropes need to be reconfigured. Also, a fun side note, we use pallets in here, so I got one of them up because I'm pumping some water. So this is an issue that we deal with in the spring, basically only in the spring, because the ground is still kind of frozen and it's not absorbing the water, so we have to pump it out. So we pump the water out to another area on our property where it doesn't really matter. So this hoop house still is pretty empty because we don't use it during the winter. I just started moving a couple things in here. So I got our potted bulbs, which are starting to come up. Not to get too distracted, but these guys are looking really good. And then I just started moving just a couple of things. I had some propagations from last year, so these are some of our herbs that we'll have available soon. And yeah, let's get started on the hoop house. Alright, so step number one is unhook all these ropes. I already did this first one right here. They're hooked onto these clips down here. So this first one has like a little tie like that, and you can hook it, and they're each rope is hooked every other on the way down. So I'm just going to unhook these and pull them off. The ropes are off. Every time I do it, I have to refigure out the most efficient way to do it, or I realize the most efficient way to do it afterwards. So I just unhooked the ropes from one side and then of the hoop, and then just kind of pulled the ropes off, and they just slid through the rings on the other side of the hoop, if that makes any sense. So I just unhooked them on one side and just pulled, and then they came right off. I also try to keep the ropes separate. I learned from past experiences that you do not want them to get tangled because that's a very messy situation. And I don't bother trying to make them neat or anything because we're going to be, oh, there's a blue jay. We're going to be messing them up as we throw them back over the hoop. So, you know, it's not worth the effort in trying to make them all pretty again. So we're not going to do that. All these birds help me remember that the reason why I chose today to do this, there's a truck driving by, sorry. The reason why I chose to do this today was it's very still. As you can see from these branches up here, there's no wind at all. So that's very important when you're changing the plastic on your hoop houses, because if it's even just a little bit windy, that plastic quickly turns into a parachute. Next we have the wiggle wire. So the wiggle wire starts here, goes all the way to the arch at the top, and then down the other side. So I'm gonna have to get on the ladder and remove it all, but I'll show you how I do it. I have this tool, which right here, it looks like a screwdriver, but it's got like a little thing on the end. Not really sure when I acquired it. It wasn't for this, but it works really good at removing this wiggle wire. Let's see. I'm going to try to get another view where you can actually see it. I just remembered that this tool is actually more useful for getting the wiggle wire back in than it is taking it off, because taking it off is pretty easy. You just pull it out like this. And this does a really good job of holding the plastic in. So even if the ropes fail, this plastic isn't going anywhere. So I'm just going to do this for the front of the hoop house and the back of the hoop house, and I'll get back to you. Something that I always enjoy about doing these hoop houses is it's kind of mindless, but you also get to get up really high and look around at your surroundings. This time, yeah, there's no leaves on the trees, so you can kind of see the farms in the distance that are really pretty. And there's also like a bunch of bluebirds. It's unbelievable. I think they're bluebirds. They have the blue body, and then they have the orange breasts. So that's really cool. Here is the plastic. I just pulled it out from the side of the hoop house. It wasn't very heavy, so it's, you know, maybe 50 pounds, maybe less. That's just a guess. So we're gonna put this into storage because we're gonna put the clear plastic on now. So we store this until about November when I'm ready to overwinter the perennials and such. So we're just gonna fold this up like a giant bed sheet. Here's this one all folded up now. I could probably fold it one more time for easier storage. Here's the new one that we're going to be, well, not the new one, we're reusing this from last year. So that's the one that's going to go on the hoop house now. There's not a really good way to store this. So we just have a corner that we throw it in and we lose that corner. Before I put the hoop back on, some things I need to do is I'm going to weed whack this. See all this grass all the way along the edges? So it's a lot easier to get rid of that now that the plastic's gone. Something to be careful about when you're weed whacking, so I won't get this perfect because I need to be careful of this, and I'm not going to move out of these pots, is when you weed whack around nursery pots, if you hit the pot with a weed whacker, it will shred the side of the pot, so that's something to be cognizant of. Something else I need to do is I need to get rid of some of these leaves, because I think it's just asking for mice to come play in, which we don't want that. I have no rat poison here. I've been keeping a close eye on all the plants and nothing's really been eaten because we have cats that come and take care of it, which is nice. So I don't want to poison the cats, so there's no poison in here and the cats do their job, which is awesome. And they're not even our cats, they're from around the neighborhood. Another thing that needs to be done too is I need to do some weeding, because once you put this plastic on, even now, these weeds inside the hoop house and inside the pots themselves are going to start going crazy. And finally, like we discussed before, just need to make sure that I fix the end walls because they got a little damaged in the windstorms we've had recently. So now I have the skin on the outside of the hoop house and I lined it all the way down, and it's already cut to length obviously because we've used this piece of plastic for a couple of times now. And I'll show you inside this hoop house. There will be some print on the plastic that says inside. So if you can read that, that's the side that you want facing inside. If you can't read it, then you got it backwards. So you want to make that mistake when you're putting your plastic on. So usually this is a two-person job, but I have my own way of doing it by myself. So I grab a ladder and I just start at the end and I pull the plastic over the top. And then my helper are these little clips. And I'll clip the piece that I just put up there, and then I'll come back down and grab some more, and then I'll put another clip, and then, you know, gradually I get the plastic over the hoop house. You know, it only takes me like 10 minutes. So I'm gonna do that right now. It's an example of me using the clip to clip up the plastic as I come back down to pull some more slack. Alright, so now that we got the plastic on it for the most part, I don't have it all the way to the back yet. We're going to start wiggle wiring the front, just in case if we get a stiff breeze, it's not going to like blow away. Some things to look out for in your final placement is making sure that there's a little bit overlap on the ground. You should have a couple inches in case you want to close it up. You know, so you want to check and make sure you got that overlap on both sides, which I do. So yeah, so if you want to keep it like closed, you can always like put some rocks or something on it, and that would keep it nice and tight. And obviously, well, I haven't showed you yet, but these sides, if it's warm, have the capability of rolling up. All right, we're wiggle wired on both sides. Now it's time to put the ropes on. So basically we're going to start in one corner. We're going to throw over the side of the hoop, and we're going to zigzag all the way down. So we'll hook it on the other side, and then throw it back over, hook it, throw it over, hook it, throw it over, hook it, until we get to the other side. And that's what secures the plastic even more so. Ran out of time for today, so I'm going to show you what I got done. I got one whole hoop house done. You you can just see we got the ropes on there, and then I have the plastic up. We have the option to do that because it's pretty warm and it doesn't need to be like 100 degrees in there. It's warm enough outside right now, so on days like today where it's really nice, we roll up the sides to give some good growing conditions. I have 2 doors attached now. That one I got to be basically square. This one, you know, it's giving me a little bit of issue still in terms of squareness, but it shuts and it has hinges on it, so it's exciting. So now I just need to go through and sort through these plants and clean it up in here. Thank you for watching our video today. As a quick recap, I switched out the plastic from white to clear because we don't want during the winter we don't want the plants to heat up too much, and the white plastic keeps it from doing that. So this is the time of the year where we switch to clear plastic to make it more of like a hoop house. So the hoop house will get warm during the day, but at night it still gets the temperature of the outside temperature, so you don't want to do this too early. I did it in the middle of March last year and we had really good success, so it worked out well for us. This is something that you want to do on a still day. It's something that you probably want to have help with, and it's also a good time to fix the other things that need to be fixed in the hoop house, such as doors or any cleanup or any frame issues that need to be fixed. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave me any questions in the comments below, and thank you for watching.